3,
Hold on, let me
2,
finish this.
1.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I got one.
Do that, bro.
Got
All
Nest
right,
quick.
I'm going at 50. I'm going at 20 seconds, Will.
Okay.
Oh, we're not. This is
That's
gonna have to
exactly-
stay
That's
in.
exactly when I'm gonna start it, John.
Okay, cool. Welcome everybody to the Mincel Intel. This episode is brought to you by El Fuego. LK just killing it with some spicy food. Yeah. Okay, so let's bring everybody in.
LK,
Yo,
LK's really throwing
bottom right corner, man.
LK's really throwing money around these days, you know.
Yeah, right.
To us, to all to
Awesome money.
Well,
How
he's
much did he
getting that
spend?
sponsor money. He's getting that Kirk's Painter sponsor money. He's got some
Yeah.
money to spend.
Bankrolled. El Fuego is bankrolled.
I'm telling you, this is LK. That's the financier.
Yeah.
Do you know
guys,
what the final number was that he spent? Or
It had
no?
to have been like 3,500 at least.
Yeah, how about him?
I was
getting
gonna say like 4K. If I were to guess.
Yeah, that's what I was.
The
Okay,
last I
4 or
checked,
5
it was
maybe.
3.
wow.
That's insane.
A lot
There
of
is-
money to mow Kirk's lawn for 5 minutes.
What if he does make him do that, man? Just has him make a
That'd be so funny.
That'd be played up on a projector for 5 minutes rather than
Just him doing yard work.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know if you noticed, but Phil is not here this week. So we have RA Minihane in to fill in and do some education, and I think he's just going to stick around for the whole episode. So we're pretty excited. What's going on, RA?
Not much. Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, of course.
Looking forward to
Anytime.
it.
It's an absolute
think
pleasure.
Will-
Can I tell you guys why
I think Will
Phil
has-
isn't here?
Yeah,
He's
go
on a
ahead.
fucking hot Tinder date right now, guys.
Oh,
He
Is he on
said,
a
and
Tinder
he
date?
said,
Really?
he said, and I quote, "I don't get many opportunities to get my dick wet. Just let me have this one."
wow.
Well, good for him, I
Phil.
guess.
Yeah, no.
Phil's
Get
the
it.
And
talent.
he's like, "Don't say anything about it." And I'm like, I'm going to say something about it.
Phil's on a
there's
Tinder.
no-
All right, fucking say it.
Good for him.
What do you think they're doing? What are they doing on the date?
100% just
know.
nothing.
Nothing
Yeah.
at all. Eh?
Phil's probably such a
Do you
nice
think-
person.
Do you think Phil's gonna talk during the date, or is he just gonna sit there and
Don't
not say
listen.
anything?
He's probably somehow in this broadcast, he's just laughing at everything BA said.
Yeah. He starts talking to you. Oh, have you seen the Mincel Intel? You know, I'm a big.
You know, I'm a D-list YouTube star.
Can I get your phone? I got to add a couple RSS feeds.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Great.
Guys,
I wasn't
we
gonna
are,
guess that. I wouldn't have guessed that. Will.
We're going to
What
jump.
would you have guessed? Like
I
some
thought he
familiar-
had like
Me too.
I thought he had some like late dinner or something like that.
Yeah, it's
or
usually
something
dinner.
Crazy.
He has his 9 o'clock family dinners. I thought they got moved up or something, but
No, man, he's just
Um,
honey dipping, bro.
he's just honey dipping. All right, let's do this. Let's jump into some news. We have a couple topics we want to cover here. First is 5K. Boys, how was the 5K for you guys? Where'd you run it?
I just ran in my neighborhood's a nice big loop, so I mapped out, a 5K, ran it. It was good. I didn't
Nice.
have a whole lot of problems with the app. I know some people did. I think we crashed it.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
I guess was a good thing if you think
Yeah.
about it. Like that's how many people actually used it.
Probably a good thing, man.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was really good. I think we had like over 1,000 people at least on the app.
Mhm.
But yeah, how'd you guys do?
Good, BA. You
you
had
even do it,
tweeted
Doug?
out. Yeah, I did. I did. I'll go over what I did.
Alright.
I sat on my couch. I turned my treadmill on. Put my cell phone on there, but I guess it didn't work.
Yeah, right.
I jerked off a couple times. Got the old pedometer going.
I was thinking it'd been funny like to call into the YouTube show and say I'm doing the Menners 5K and just sit in my chair and do that. Back and forth.
BA,
But-
they closed all of Toronto for you, right?
Yeah, it was funny. They had like the whole there's a big the Lakeshore Boulevard or Lakeshore Avenue all closed for Kirk Minihane. Thousands, tens of thousands of people were out. But yeah, I walked just down Lakeshore and came back. It was funny the
He's
first
right
time.
here. He's right here.
What?
Oh, I left that. Okay.
Oh,
No,
okay,
sorry.
Jeff.
I thought my cat got out.
First time I finally got the courage to start running, and then that's when I had a little bit of app issues, so maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe I just needed to keep walking the whole time. But I thought the app was pretty cool to have that live stream and to hear like the commentary. I think Steve did a pretty good job with the commentary.
Dude, I thought the commentary was great. Scott Neary was really good at it. Like he was really good.
Yeah.
I wasn't making any progress, bro. I was getting a goddamn racehorse ready. What the fuck?
Yeah, Will, I know you had the broken foot. So what'd you do for the 5K?
So my dad trains and owns racehorses in I figured the best way to do it behind a horse, man, a harness race horse. So
Nice.
Got started about 18, 19 minutes late.
Mhm.
You know, we were at 3-minute pace at one point per mile.
Nice.
Late to our gorgeous, shout out. All you OTB guys out there, she's looking really good. She just trotted in 2-1 in a mile. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, so
Might have to hit the
that's-
might
I'm
have
sure
to hit
that's
the
really
OTB
good.
right after this.
it is good. And track around here is opening up like for actual racing June 1st, which is really good for
Oh, nice.
my parents because my mom shoots
Yeah.
photos also. But the 5K itself, I thought it was awesome. I thought Steve and Scott did a great job with the broadcast.
Mhm.
You know, Jerry's uncle was hilarious coming in there. And I mean, the like RA was talking about beforehand, before we got on air, you know, how many times have they had 1,000 people doing one show? You know, it might have been overwhelming to their system. So I mean, all the people complaining about the app, I mean, they did what they could, and a lot of people got a lot of great content out of it. I finished 100th. I don't know how you guys finished. How'd you finish, BA?
Like I said, I don't think mine actually finished because the app. I mean, once the broadcast ended, it like said the race was over. I don't think so. I don't know what I finished on there. Probably. Oh, actually,
Yeah.
I got an email. I think like 500 and something. I saw a couple buddies on the way too. I started talking to them for a little bit, but it was cool. And I think RA, we were talking about this before. That was probably one of the bigger events that Charge had to do,
Mhm.
right? So it was cool to see. It was cool to see that much interaction with it. So it was sweet. It got me up early on a Saturday, that's for sure. I'm usually in bed by then.
Yeah. I thought I like the whole event. I thought just was awesome. The broadcast was cool. I was listening to the broadcast while I was going on. It was nice to see our boy Inspector in there. Inspector's the man, dude.
Was he in there? I didn't hear.
They cut to him. He was walking with BPM. Yeah, Blind Prison Mike and his whole family who he had to bribe. I think he had to go buy them a stove, some Beyblades, and some other stuff to get them to do the walk too. But it was pretty funny. You know how his Twitter picture is the Prison Mike thing with the mask on? All of their bibs had the faces. Yeah, it was pretty.
Oh yeah, that was
he's a psychopath. I love that guy. But no, Inspector did a good job. Inspector was on there just for a little while. Like they kind of cut to Inspector and he talked for a little bit. He chirped Mike a little bit. It was funny. He's a good dude.
I thought the Jerry's uncle was funny, where he was like, he's trying to be in character or whatever, but he's like, yeah, I'm not too good with technology, you know? So still trying to figure this out. Or
he's also not a good listener because he didn't hear where to go, the right place.
Like that kind of stuff. That's the stuff that I find funny, like the disorganization or the chaos and just those naturally funny moments.
Out of the blue, he just picks up. He's like, hey, here's a bag of dog shit. So yeah, all in all, I think the 5K went well.
Fuck you saying? Like, if I'm not done, I have one last point. Come on, dude.
Oh yeah, classic transition by Will. Go ahead.
Literally talking about this exact subject. The social media presence was awesome. Like we found a ton of new Minifans, like Irish Minifan.
Oh, the Irish guy, yeah.
Hilarious. I found my new Minifan, Michael Lane, Minihomie.
Minihomie, baby.
Minihomie, bro. It was just a really funny, good day. Overall.
It was. I had fun with it. Obviously, I didn't run, but I was listening, so I had fun with it, and it seems like everybody had a good time. That sounded like something died.
Only me and Will represented the Mincel Intel crew on the 5K.
No, Phil ran.
Phil did run.
Phil did what, like 3 hours
he's not here
later?
To say Phil's not here to say he did. So we'll say he did.
Started running and then did sprints and like no way.
All right, so let's wrap up the 5K.
This is why people say we're fake fans. You know, none of the boys got up to do the walk except for me and Will. So.
Well, I mean, you got the whole city of Toronto to shut down. That's no small feat.
Yeah, see, I'm doing my part over here. I'm getting the city to shut down streets for Kirk, and
had a great
that was a good thread, actually.
Great thread.
Yeah.
My shirt didn't come in though. I was pissed. I thought it came in. So right before, like at 9:58, I go to my concierge to get my package, but it was for my roommate. So I thought the shirt was in. So then I started a little late.
I thought Barstool's not shipping across borders right now.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
That might be it.
Speaking of being pissed, as soon as I took my Dave Portnoy Memorial 5K shirt off, my cat pissed on it. So,
nice, dude.
Yeah, man.
Well, speaking of cat piss, let's get into our next topic, the intern show. Dude, what?
That's a topic? We're talking about that?
We're going to talk about our boy DJK here. I was watching the intern show, and it was funny. The next day I tweeted out, everyone was talking about it. I was like, oh my God, I tweeted about it 500 times that night. And the next day we tweeted, oh, I missed it. What happened? Guys,
well, that's not all you tweeted, John. Didn't
that's not all I tweeted. No,
didn't you say you want to be an intern? You're gonna leave your job to be.
Yeah, what was that about? I saw that.
I told him I would leave my job to become an intern, and I couldn't be any more serious. I will do that.
Really?
Yeah, in a second.
Well, you want to trade?
Yeah, well, you want my job? It's a cool salary. You'll like it.
Monthly expenses. If I was living with my parents and I didn't have any monthly obligations, I would do it. But yeah, I guess if that's what you're doing. But
well, that's the funny thing. I thought it was pretty funny that BA said he wouldn't do it. It's talking about
I wouldn't. I have to pay. I'm honest, man.
I gotta pay fucking bills, man.
I got bills to pay.
I'm rolling in it.
RA, did you watch the intern show? Did you see?
I watched clips of it. I can't stand DJK. I try to he doesn't seem like with Menners, it's a shtick. I don't know if you've ever listened to his cricket podcast. I've listened to it just for shits and gigs. He's actually not like that. And with Mayo, it's a shtick. But I think this kid's actually just a douchebag. He just sucks. I mean, and I just have no time for that. He's clearly not a fan. He doesn't he just goes after people for what? Because he wants to be like Ryan Seacrest. I mean, I guess Ryan Seacrest is a total douchebag. So I guess he's fitting the bill. But I have no use for him. But I saw Justin blowing up on him. Mm-hmm. Which I loved watching. I mean, I got a lot of satisfaction out of that.
Goddamn heater, man! And I texted DJK because I had heard from I think Justin told me that DJK had told Steve that it was all a joke, that walking off was all a joke. Which, if it was, not really that funny, man.
But this is where I lost. Everyone knows I was a big DJK guy, and the intern show.
Who could forget that?
Who could forget? I tweet about it nonstop. The famously known DJK guy.
Famously.
But no, the intern show kind of put me off on him. But then that led into Mike and the Minifans, where. And I asked you this yesterday. I know a lot of the interns were asked to be on to speak about it, and you said you didn't know if DJK was asked to be on. Did you ever find out if he was asked or not?
I don't know if he was asked. But I know
because I just find it funny Mike would have the interns on to talk about it and not him.
I was loaded, so
yeah, it was your birthday, yeah. But I was sitting in the comments, and out of the blue, the Kirk Minihane show YouTube account tweets, Mike, it's DJK. I'll come on to answer any questions. And I was like, I blew up the chat. I was like, Justin, put him on. DJK comes on, and they kind of just go at him, and DJK didn't leave. DJK kind of answered the questions. Kevin from Bristol was there. He was kind of, giving him a suggestion.
What was this on?
This was Mike and the Minifans.
Oh, okay.
So
I missed that.
Actual text messages that I have with him, which if you actually deep dive into them and know what's going on, was complete bait. I was trying to say fraud.
I don't know how much more we want to get into DJK. You know what I mean? I honestly, because I think the one thing I'll say about it, if guys that say I don't care, and then they leave, they want to come on, they want to do this. You obviously care. It's not a big deal to care about something. You don't have to be the cool guy that doesn't care. I don't care about this. I don't care about that, because he clearly cares. I call him DJCare now. He cares.
That's our name guy. Will, you got something else on it?
Yeah, I just had one more point. The guy says he wants to be an on-air talent, right? He wants to be an on-air intern, and he won't do an on-air event.
Will Frost.
Best producer of the business.
Go ahead.
He says that he wants to do all this on-air stuff, but why is the intern show too good for him?
Here's my problem with him. I don't like people who act like they're too. I would say he is one of the better talent. Like he's electric kind of. Like he's kind of electric, and people care about
one of the better talents on the
YouTube channel.
That's not saying a whole lot.
What are we talking about?
Exactly.
That's not.
But I mean, it is what it is.
Well, and then I think a couple. Oh, sorry.
We had a great. Like the week before, I'd argue we had like a good show with him. Like,
it was beautiful to hear him sing.
What I want to say, a couple things with the YouTube channel. I heard it was actually Suitman who had the idea to put Caller Daddy in the titles of the YouTube clips to get clips. And Suitman is actually DJK's Suitman because he's trying to get DJK out. He's trying to get DJ. He's pulling the strings from behind. He's pulling the strings from behind.
My guy BA transitions right there. Our next stop is actually Suitman.
Nice.
Guys, what's your opinion on what's going on with Caller Daddy here? It's kind of nice to see it's coming to an end because I'm kind of getting sick of talking about it and
First, anybody watch that 35-minute video and give me some cliff notes?
I did. I watched all the videos.
Yo,
RA, you were tweeting about that.
I'm not a big Barstool guy, I'll admit it. Like I'm kind of a mercenary here as long as Kirk's here. But so I don't find a lot of it that entertaining, to be honest with you. But this was unbelievable. And I normally I've listened to like maybe 2 minutes of that podcast just to see what it was about. And it's just pretty much as advertised. Like they're just like assholes.
It's talking about
it's unbelievable. But just to just watch this back and forth, it's like potato chips. Like I'm eating them, I don't know why. It's good. I can't stop. It was just like so much just like backstabbing, and there's Peter Nelson comes in, and Alex took more money without telling Sophia, and it was just a soap opera. And I was just
show, man. Do like a it reminded me of like a Succession or
something. Succession, yeah.
Like the deals.
I think the funniest thing that came out of this is when the show was talking about it and Kirk was like, Steve, you would be friends. Like, this guy looks like you're a cross coach.
Yeah. They look like they run in the same circles.
Shout out Mike. He had the best fucking joke. It was like, Steve, this guy could be your lacrosse coach.
That was, I think, the funniest line to be said about Peter Nelson. But no, I think the YouTube she came out with really broke down everything that went down as compared to Sophia's, which was just a disaster.
It really shows you who the talent is. Based off of those two videos that they put out. One was 2 minutes on Instagram and it was like edited, and then Alex just went on and it was just it was hard for Alex to look bad, but she did a really good job of damage control if you think about it.
Her foundation was off, wrong color, but her foundation.
Her foundation was off.
I didn't know.
Her makeup was off.
People were saying that in the chat and stuff.
Other than that, RA is completely right. Like fucking Sophia's was manic, scrambled all over the place. And like the minute and a half I watched of Alex, I was like, oh, this is one of her old vlogs because she used to
vlog. Yeah,
that was her. She has a pretty successful like YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's really where they found her.
I think it's kind of been getting beaten into the ground, but it's kind of cool to see the behind the scenes of like a little bit of the business and the personal side of like the podcast industry or like the new kind of media industry. And it's cool. Like it was cool to see how Portnoy kind of handled the situation. And I think that's where the Caller Daddy girls fucked up because they could have got out ahead of this because Dave would have let them say whatever they want. If they went out ahead of this and each of them like even posted their own fucking thing on the feed, they could have done that. They would have both got shown in a better light.
But IP.
But they can still post. You would let them post. You don't think you think he's gonna block a post from like if they recorded a podcast?
It's not out of there, Nate. I'm not podcast, but blogs.
I don't know. It just ended. Where we ended with it, though, BA, was that Sophia is out and Alexandra is still there, right?
He had an emergency press conference right afterwards saying that Alex had signed and not Sophia.
Okay.
Dude, and they were making $500,000 a year.
I know.
I'd take that.
And he was going to give them, guys, he was going to give them the IP. There's 3 people that was ever given to. Fucking Rogan, Howard Stern, and Call Her Daddy would be on that fucking list. Can you imagine? And they said, and well, she said no.
Peter Nelson said no.
Yeah, Peter Nelson.
Yeah, it's funny. A podcast about being independent from Dick was broken apart by Dick.
Guy looks like she does straight missionary, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's the irony of it. Straight missionier's
Peter Nelson looks like the guy who goes off. Oh, sorry. Well, what do you say?
I said he comes in 2 minutes and then is.
Oh yeah, and then buttons up and zips up his pants.
He's like the kind of guy who's drinking Aperol spritz at the bar and stuff like that. Like he's a fucking like that's the kind of guy you would. I try to judge my character on like how many beers I'd have with a guy. I don't even think I'd have one beer with the guy. Like the guy seems
pounds martinis.
Just dirty martinis, Aperol spritz.
Yeah.
Something like I don't know, something. Seems like a weird. Yeah, cognac. I'll do a cognac.
I love cognac.
Not the kind of cognac Peter Nelson drinks. Like,
yeah.
Have you ever had Louis the 13th?
You're so poor you can't even pronounce what kind of cognac.
Exactly. I want to know what's going to happen to him. Because did you guys see Erica's podcast where she was like kind of like egging on Time Warner?
I loved it.
Or Warner Media, because I guess she knows the new CEO, and I was like, if I was that guy, I would really look into this. So I'm curious to see what would happen, because Dave started tweeting like the other day, it was just like, oh, Peter Nelson, like idiot, and I kind of thought maybe he got fired or something's going to happen to him, but
because like it seemed like he went rogue. Like it seemed like he went rogue on this whole thing.
Didn't though, because I'm pretty sure HBO invested in that Wiggly company or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, Steve said they were advertising in Wondery.
They were advertising in it, and so they're invested. I mean, that's some sort of an investment.
Yeah, but that's the interesting part to me. Like what
it's not how they don't not support it. That's what I should say.
Yeah. I think like a lot of people don't realize. I think HBO had more of a hand in this than just Peter Nelson or whatever.
He was just going rogue.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I don't know. That's like where I would say that did HBO have a hand in it, or is it like someone said, okay, Peter, if this comes back, you're gonna take the heat, kind of. To try to do this stuff, or is this guy just like one of those guys that he gets a girl and he's trying to like show off? Oh, I have all this power.
What do they call them?
Simps, I think something like simp. But he has all this power, and he's like, I can do this for you. And then, so I think it's more like that because he seems like a kind of like who would trust this guy with. Like just the way he talks, I don't know. I guess I don't know his work ethic. Just the way he looks.
Worst.
But who would trust this guy? Like. To make those like it seems pretty. It seems like he was trying to sell this young girl the world.
Yeah, let's hop over to our last topic. Speaking of Barstool, starting this week, I believe Wednesdays, our boys are going on to Sirius.
Well, we don't
Channel 85.
We don't know because the announcements on like the
Barstool Radio announced it.
Yeah, Barstool Radio tweeted it out.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
Like idiot. Kirk retweeted it. Kirk retweeted it and said, like, I forget what his exact tweet was.
But I don't know when that comment. I don't know when that schedule starts.
It looks like Wednesdays. It's going to be Wednesdays.
RA.
Yeah, they go on at like 11.
Was it 11, RA?
Could be.
I think it said the time block's at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, but you had a great speculation.
I think they might do the last hour live.
Which I agree that'd be. I mean, I think
that'd be cool. That's
because if you think about it, they're contractually, their contract is their show goes they're supposed to go live at 11. So why not just end it and then do the last hour at 11? I'm sure.
So I did the same thing. I said it would be cool because listen, basically the last hour of the show usually now is callers or stuff like that. So it's kind of brings in a new aspect of like when callers call now, they have to have their shtick ready. They don't know what's going on with the show. I think one day a week where the callers will have some live feed to know what to call on, what to kind of, I think that'll be a nice new look.
I wonder how much Barstool is going to have their hand in it. Like if they're going to have a dump. They're gonna have.
I won't think that much. I know they have I know for the other shows they have like a Sirius representative, like that has to be kind of in there.
There's always a Sirius rep on.
Show producer and then the Sirius kind of guy. Mm-hmm. But I think this is if it is live and it allows Kirk to interact with the rest of the radio channel in some kind of aspect, I think it will take that channel to like another level because I think Kirk could probably bring something out of the radio that Barstool's doing well, but to have Kirk in the mix now, that's a whole different variable. And like he's gonna get pissed at Sirius. Like think about this new producer for Sirius. That poor guy's gonna get Kirk when they fuck with him, and it's gonna be great. Or another show or whatever, or they're coming in right after the breakfast, so that's funny. Like Willie Colon will be leading Kirk.
Oh, yeah, it's funny because Willie Colon's the show on right before him.
Yeah,
exactly.
What's to stop Kirk from just calling that shit?
Nothing stops.
Yeah, nothing. But if there's supposed to be a serious rep, then why wouldn't they just do like a best of, try to get listeners for Kirk, and then once Kirk, gets the listeners up to where Barstool thinks he should be on the radio, then they go live. Like if they need a serious rep there anyways, wouldn't it make sense just to do that?
That's a decent idea, but what I think he's going to do is have a lot of Big Cat, have a lot of KFC people that are known to.
But they have their own shows. They all have their own shows.
So why not just do like the segments with them?
I know they have their own shows, but what I'm saying is that them coming on and Kirk. I mean, Kirk dismantles KFC every time
he really does.
Is on. But him and Big Cat have great chemistry, so they see that. Okay, I'm going to listen to this guy's show now.
I think it's cool though.
There are a lot of things they could do with it. I think it's.
I think it's cool. Like if he gets that last that hour on Wednesdays, and he does it kind of like a live radio show. It's kind of cool for like all the OG fans that kind of miss that radio aspect of Kirk. It kind of like is coming back in an even. A better hybrid because Sirius is pretty unfiltered as well. Like you could swear and stuff and do stuff, but it is bringing back to like
it's not only good for older fans, it's good for us newer fans who get to now see Kirk on live radio. So like I love when Kirk goes on Sirius. Like every time he calls into CCK, I listen.
Or the Miami stuff. But I think having him in the mix on the radio, that radio station, I think. Like I said this before, but this is going to just the start of Kirk's role expanding with Barstool. Because if you think about it, he's like a top 4 talent there with him, KFC, Big Cat, and Portnoy. There's no one else that could do what the only guy that could do what those other 3 guys do is Kirk. And Kirk, in some aspects, is better than a lot of them at a lot of what he does. So I think this is going to be the start of him growing with the radio station. Because I think him being in the mix is going to be a wild card. He's going to fuck with all the shows. There's going to be he's going to fuck with Sirius. He's going to fuck with everything, and it's going to bring that. I love it. I can't wait.
Well, to look at the lineup, it's going to start off. Barstool Breakfast, Willie Colon show. Then it's going to be Wednesday is 3 different shows that are going to mix in. So it's going to be Cousins, Hard Factor, and Kirk. And then after that is CCK, and then Barstool Chicago and Chaps and Kate. So those are the only shows that are going to be playing now. So
just for Sirius, I know this as well. Like, I saw 20, 25 tweets that were now I have a reason to renew my Sirius.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I heard. Super
Bowl time got the 4-month free trial that's running out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sort of a premonition. He kind of said, if I were to go back to radio, 1 hour, once a week, that sounds good to me. So I mean,
he and oh fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say because you fucks keep talking so much this episode.
It
probably wasn't worth it.
Maybe I'll think of it later.
Yeah, but I think. Oh, this was gonna say like those Hard Factor guys. They're like I think pretty big like liberal guys. So I really would
No, the exact opposite. They're super.
Aren't they libs? I thought some of them are libs because they're PFT's
brother.
buddy.
PFT's brother's on that show. He's a super hardcore conservative, but PFT
I thought
is on Hard Factor. PFT,
but he's a liberal.
Yeah.
I just I want to see like the PFT Steve Robinson like political debate. Like
too.
That's something I want to see because I think it just bring back. It's like SC versus PFT. Like those 2 characters just having because it'll be funny, but it will also have a lot of good points on either side. But I think if that dynamic can start happening a bit too. But I don't really listen to the Hard Factor guys in all honesty. But I think it's good to have them in the mix. And it's going to be like a battle. Who can take over? Who's going to be the best show at the 11 o'clock hour out of those boys? So that's going to be nice.
Couch, basically, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of casting couch, let's get into some education. So the education we chose this week because of, a couple weeks ago, they did the call-in episode and all that stuff. We picked, well, RA actually was the one who suggested this, that we should do the day Kirk kind of announced the Cullen investigation. They kind of came out with it. So let's do this. Let's just play the video now, and then on the other side, we'll go over the video. All right, so go.
I just think it doesn't make sense that, and believe me, I know everyone's listening. I'm getting tweets. We're going to do this very soon, right around 8:30, and I am telling you, I've gotten texts like you wouldn't believe. They were plunging forward anyway. Talking about Kevin Cullen of the Boston Globe. You ready for this, Curtis, or no?
I am.
Good.
I didn't think you should tease it because I was afraid it might get sabotaged.
Good instinct, as usual. I was wrong, but I think we're going to get there, although who knows? We have one more break in between. It could end at any time. Here's a hint. If I'm not here, you know that because I'm leaving if that happens.
Okay, will you say goodbye, please? I want to know.
I will not. I'll leave the business. I'll take my key I got for my 5-year
Ken
anniversary.
and I will preview Game 4 tonight, right, Kenny?
Absolutely, yep.
Oh, you guys clearly disagree on the start times for baseball games. That's passionate stuff.
But I'll say this, one last thing on that.
Oh, no.
When football moves by 10 minutes, you mock it. You go, it's only 10 minutes.
Jerry.
I like it.
Short
10
segment.
minutes.
Short
10
segment.
minutes.
Short
I like
segment. We get to the stuff. We
I
get to
know.
the good stuff. I don't care.
Football moves by
You're
10 minutes.
You're right.
That's good, right?
It's awesome.
We like it.
It's awesome.
We love Goodell.
I've talked to a lot of people at the Globe, or reached out to a lot of people at the Globe. It's not worked out as well as I had hoped. So Kevin Cullen, which story should we start with first, Jerry? Do you want to start with
I would start with the
day of the bombing itself?
I would start with the 5th anniversary. If that were me, I would start with this column.
We're doing this together.
We want to be topical. This is April 14th. That would be Saturday or Sunday.
Okay, 5 years later, we still feel
this was in Sunday's Globe.
Like a sixth sense.
And this is what started it. We read it and said, this guy was there.
What started was he taunted us, and then we paid attention to him.
True.
That's really what started.
I know. I have to say, in his defense, that I haven't really read him much.
No, nor have I.
I mean, the difference between Barnacle and Cullen is Barnacle was like must read.
Yep.
When you start reading this guy's stuff, you have the same questions.
Right. So he talks about it's been 5 years. Has it really been 5 years? I happened upon a house fire recently in Mattapan, and the smell reminded me of Boylston Street 5 years ago when so many lost their lives and their limbs and their sense of security. I can smell Patriots Day 2013. I can hear it. God, can I hear it? Whenever multiple fire engines or ambulances are racing to a scene, I can taste it when I'm around a campfire and embers create a certain sensation.
Okay.
Important to note, I just talked to Kevin Cullen, who told me he was not there when the bombing happened. Just important to note that, just to give you an idea. So he arrived there hours later, was not there when the bombing happened.
Which we confirmed. He was off that day.
Yes, multiple sources told us that, but he just confirmed that to me on the phone. And then he gets into the whole story. He talks about how he ran into Jane Richard driving down Gallivan Boulevard, yelled Janie, the open window at her a few months ago, he said. And then he
calls her his talisman.
His little good luck charm.
His good luck charm.
And when she waved back, he parked in the old Dorchester parking lot and began to weep. So he uses Jane Richard sort of as a prop, as his good luck charm. So that's kind of where you're starting at with him. We can do that as well. We can get to the Irish Times story. We can get to some other stuff that's the BBC stuff that is really, really questionable. So when he writes about the marathon bombing 5 years ago, in that story, he absolutely writes about it the day after, like somebody was there. He talks about seeing people after it happens knocking over barriers. He talks about blood spilling down to the Boston Public Library. He talks about seeing a runner fall down. Remember the guy?
The
who
old
fell
guy,
down?
yes.
Essentially everything you saw on television, he claims he saw.
It was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
The guy who fell down happened when the bombing happened.
Correct.
So Kevin Cullen is saying he saw something, and now he tells me he wasn't there.
Correct.
So
he saw it like you were on
TV.
On TV later on.
That's not how he presented as a journalist. Just to be clear, so he wasn't there for any of that. So that story is fiction. I mean, it's true that those things happen, but he didn't see people knocking down barriers. This is the BBC story. He writes as a writer from the Boston Globe from April 16th that year. He writes, to recap it, he writes, a young boy, Martin Richard, went on Boylston Street to hug his dad, who had just finished the marathon. That's Bill Richard, which never happened. Bill Richard did not run the marathon. He reports Martin Richard went back to the sidewalk after he hugged his dad. His dad finished the marathon.
Yes.
Martin Richard then came from outside the barriers, which were there even then in 2013, went and hugged his dad, and then went back to where he wound up losing his life. Bill Richard then went through the finish line again and registered his time. I would say to this, I ran marathons at Boston before that and after that. When the race is finished and you cross the finish line, when you saw your wife that day, did she come back out?
No, she did not.
You keep going, and you find them at the end. One thing you also don't do, this is not the 1982 5K in New Bedford. You don't register your time at the Boston Marathon. There's something on your shoe, and maybe a lot of people don't know this. You know this, Jerry.
Yes.
There's a chip.
There's a chip for just about every race.
Yeah, right. But we're not talking about 19. This is 2013.
Correct.
We are far past the point of antiquation. Is that a word?
Sure.
You know what I mean. We're not there at that point. So that's not that. First of all, we're talking about somebody who didn't run the race anyway. But even if he did, this wouldn't have happened. So Bill Richard, I beg your pardon, Kevin Cullen is now making things up about the guy who didn't run the race.
He made that.
Not only did he not run,
didn't run the race,
but not only
didn't run out onto the street.
Right. Not only did not run the race, he's making up things that didn't happen. Yes, and Jane Richard. I apologize.
I just got off the phone not long ago with a young firefighter who I'm very concerned about. He's a young kid. He's a veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan. And he told me what he saw today was worse than anything he saw in a war zone. He carried a young girl whose brother was killed at the scene. I actually know the father. Just ran the race today. And when he finished the race, his young son left the sidewalk. He went out into Boylston Street and hugged his dad. And then he went back onto the sidewalk, and his father walked on to register his time, and the bomb exploded. The boy was killed. His mother was severely injured, and the daughter, the girl, my friend, the firefighter, Sean, picked her up, and he carried her to an ambulance. And he said that when he put her down, he realized her leg was missing. And he went back to the scene, and he told me he crawled on his legs, his hands and his knees, trying to find her leg, and he couldn't find it.
I'm just going to, again, this is where it gets into from journalistic malfeasance to just, I would say, disgraceful. I'm just going to say disgrace. This is what I talked about before with Borges. None of that stuff, other than poor Jane Richard losing her leg, Kevin Cullen's good luck charm, losing her leg. Beg your pardon. None of those things, none of that stuff happened. His friend Sean, who he uses later, by the way, as well, and we'll get to that, his firefighter friend Sean was not the person who probably saved Jane Richard's life. That's Matt Patterson, correct?
That is Matt Patterson.
Matt
correct.
Patterson, who I just spoke to, Chris did earlier as well. There's plenty of stories about him. And as he said to me, they found me. There was a picture. I didn't go looking for publicity. They found me. He saw, he was an off-duty firefighter from Lynn who was at the marathon that day at the finish line. He saw it happen to Jane Richard. He climbed over. He carried her with a friend of his. It was not Sean. He doesn't know anybody named Sean. He's never spoken to Kevin Cullen in his life. This man, Matt Patterson, carried Jane Richard from picking her up. And by the way, and it's a pretty good giveaway, when he says that this firefighter friend didn't know until the end that she had lost her leg. He said, this guy I spoke to said, if you're in the rescue business, whether it's a firefighter or EMT, it's the first thing you would notice is blood gushing like crazy. Right. He said, I remember everything. He said, I remember the smells, I remember what she was wearing. And I remember right away, I carried her all the way to the ambulance and I put her down. There was no crawling, none of that going on, no cinematic scene that Kevin Cullen described through tears there. That is all 100% fiction, not true.
That is amazing because he's not just typing those words, he's acting them out. That is a dramatic performance, which is almost entirely made up.
About the Boston, because...
About a poor little 8-year-old girl.
Who lost her leg.
A family who's been devastated.
Lost her brother.
And by the way, he's talking about how he knows the dad because he's saying he ran the race.
He didn't run the race.
He knows him so well that he didn't run the race.
Which would have meant
made that up.
Which would have meant a friend of his. He would have been aware
that he ran
over
the
the person. Not just that. If you're friends with the guy over the 4 months of training, the whole thing. If you're friends with the guy, you're going to know. He didn't know that, and he made this up. He made this up. Unless this guy Sean is lying to him, which again, if that's true, again, we're the Globe editors on that whole thing. So this is the entire situation with this guy. And I'm just focusing on the marathon bombing these couple of days. We could pick through Cullen's stories all day long. Trust me, I've been working on it for the past 72 hours. This to me is unbelievable. So I spoke to Patterson. I said, you know Kevin Cullen? He said, I've never spoken to Kevin Cullen in my life. I didn't even know who that was until you asked me that 30 seconds ago. So that's what you're talking about, Jerry. A guy who wanted so badly to be part of this. He inserted himself as a character into the greatest tragedy, and maybe in the history of the city, right up there, because he felt like he had to be part of it.
He wrote this story too, by the way, in the
Irish Times.
Irish Times.
I'm getting to that next.
He's got more details, more dramatic details.
But can I take?
And to be honest with you, it's bad when you write them.
It's worse when you say
actually act them out.
Can I just take
Can I
just take a half a step back? Because as I was looking for the story, I had it because this is one I took all my notes on, so I was confused. So the way he writes it, the day of the bombing itself, the column he writes, I mean, so he writes, and he just admitted to me he was not there. Globe sources told us he wasn't there that day. He writes, it was alternately poignant and horrifying to watch as first responders frantically pulled metal barriers and the flags of so many different countries down into Boylston Street in a desperate rush to get to the dead and injured on the sidewalk. What is your...
I guess
as a reader,
defense, he could say he watched it on TV.
Why didn't he write that?
Because it wouldn't work.
Did you get that sense?
No. He wants you to think he was there smelling, tasting...
Blood pooled on the sidewalk across from Boston Public Library. Severed limbs lay amid the bruised and bloody, the stunned, their ears ringing, their ears bleeding. After the initial explosion, runners craned their necks toward the blast site. 12 seconds later, a second explosion further up Boylston. It was pandemonium. I saw an older runner wearing high-rise pink socks about to cross the finish line. He was knocked to the ground, running up Boylston Street toward the second explosion. In an instant, so many lives changed. Some ended. The telephone lines burned. Everyone was trying to figure out who and why. The cops I talked to were shaking their heads. It could be anybody. That is written, again, I saw an older runner. It was pandemonium. That is not written by somebody who claims not to be there.
The older runner would be the guy on the cover of Sports Illustrated?
We all saw.
Bill Ifrig.
Bill Ifrig, that's correct.
Is this written by somebody?
What color socks has Bill got on in that picture?
Let me check.
Probably purple. Is there anything there that suggests he wasn't there?
It is not. On the contrary, it is designed to make you believe, to convince you that he was on the scene.
Because he was upset that he wasn't there. You don't get everything, Kevin Cullen, in life. Sometimes you're not there for a random marathon bombing. You could have done fine reporting after, admitted you weren't there, but instead you make things up. You make things up about the Jane Richards situation, even the Martin Richards situation. I have questions about. The Irish Times will get to that as well.
Right. He goes into detail about his friend Sean treating, finding Martin.
Both Richard kids.
Treating Jane.
Right. Am I missing anything big here, Chris?
No, I just think the biggest aspect of this is that Matt Patterson said to me and to you as well, I believe, that everything he said to the BBC that day was patently
untrue.
False.
A 3-2-1 or a 3-2-1
clap.
3-2-1
clap.
2.
Just fucking do it. Dude.
1. Oh. Yours is a little slow. Yours is a little slow.
All right, guys, we're back.
RA, where are you? You in like a garage or something?
I'm in my basement, unfinished basement.
Oh,
yeah,
nice. So we just watched the Cullen clip. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna have RA kind of explain it from the Minifan perspective. So RA, kind of like set the plate for us here. What went down? When was this happening? Like, was anything mentioned about this beforehand?
So it starts back with Christian Fourier back in like that February. They had to go to sensitivity training. And because Christian Fourier did a unflattering accent of Tom Brady's agent, Don Yee. Okay. And that's like Shirley went after them. Kevin Cullen kind of piled on. Ooh. And Kirk took note of that. So so come like the 5th anniversary of the marathon bombing, Kirk tells the story that Curtis put a Kevin Cullen story on his desk and said, like, you're going to want to read this. So that day, and that was the 15th, the 16th, they did a little bit on Cullen, just kind of like exploring, he wrote this article, like, we got some questions. So then the 17th, I forget what they did, but then the clip you guys just watched was from the 19th when Kirk just started to eviscerate him. And I think the big takeaway from that clip, at least, is the difference of the tone that Kirk has. Like, I feel like now Cullen's kind of become like a cartoon character in a way, but he didn't start off like that. Like at the beginning, like they were pissed. Like they were actually pissed off that this guy was trying to like put himself in the middle of what was really like the biggest tragedy in the city. The city of Boston was run from.
Since the massacre.
It was a massacre.
It was
world wide news. Something like that happened, we became a country.
I remember even in Toronto, I was at my buddy's house and we were watching on I think CNN or whatever, like that whole it was worldwide news.
And then I remember because I was with following Barstool at this time. I mean, Portnoy and them were live trying to find this guy. You remember?
Yeah, they were on the radio looking for these guys. Like,
yeah, That's all it was for like 2 days here. I have such a hard on for this because my parents and my sister were at the finish line. My dad had a bunch of like glass. They were up against a building. Glass fell on them. My mom was like trampled by the crowd. My sister was 13 at the time. Had like shrapnel to like ball bearings and nails and stuff.
Wow, really?
So when Cullen just like goes around saying this kind of shit, like it strikes a nerve with me, and that's why I can do this all day. I could listen to Cullen. So like the stuff with, like when they do the Cullen episode, like I loved it. I love anything that has to do with Cullen because this guy's a fucking clown and just a scumbag.
On that day, how excited you were.
Oh my God. It was
following your Twitter the whole time because I had known
it was awesome. Like I was tweeting out, like I recycled some of my Cullen episodes like from this past time, but like everyone's tweeting out the Cullen episodes, and this guy just like, it's bad when the Globe actually has to address something that Kirk says. And like he went on like Beat the Press with like Dan Kennedy, and they were just kind of like, this is pretty bad. Like they couldn't even defend it. But the Globe, being the Globe, they found a way to suspend him for like 6 months, and now he's back right in line.
When we listen to this, go ahead, Bia.
I just have a quick. So with this one, was this something that like Kirk was teasing it? Like the Marty Walsh investigation, wherever he's been teasing it for a while. Was with Cullen? Was it like that? Like he would tease that I have this story kind of for a while, or was it kind of get the story and then they fact checked it right away and they came out with it quick? Was it more of a quicker transition?
They said it was within like 72 hours.
Oh, so wow.
So the 5-year anniversary piece was what set it off, which was on like the 15th or the 16th was when Cullen wrote it. And then on the 19th, they would do a little bit of Cullen, just kind of like reading through it. But you kind of got the idea that they were going for something, but they didn't actually come out and say it. And then that day, actually, like the clip I didn't send was the first 10 minutes of that segment is they have to talk about Greg Popovich's wife dying.
So I was going to ask you this question. At the beginning of the episode, you can tell they're trying to save this for the end. And like they know they have to, I think, probably contractually talk sports at the beginning. Yeah. And Kirk is like rushing through it. And Jerry and like,
it's just so like indicative of what EEI was just like you could tell like he was just like he says he's in the clip, he's just like if I'm not here, that management told me not to do it. He's like, because I'm just not going to do it. And Jerry's just kind of like, I'm cursing, I'll leave. But yeah, that's my great Jerry impression.
That was a good one.
Thanks. I was practicing in the mirror earlier.
It sounded like RA Minihane doing a Jerry Callahan.
That was weird because that's what it was.
Good call, Will.
I had a boy.
I have a
Nothing gets
question
by Will.
Well, did Steve have a role in this particular, I guess, scandal that Kirk?
Well, I think they
undressed. Like
they brought him on Howie after this.
Yeah, I didn't. Him and Steve had Kirk and Steve have some correspondence about it. Just
probably
information, and I think that's where their relationship started, if I'm not mistaken. So I think this actually is this event, this episode, like might be a, I guess like the
starting point.
Right? Yeah, we wouldn't be here without that. Like,
without that
kind of
thing. What else like kind of stuck out to you, RA, from this day? Like put us in your spot that day.
Definitely the tone of it. Like you could tell like Kirk brought his A game. There's some days at EEI he would just kind of like dick around, but you could tell he was just like hyper focused on just burying this guy. And then they bring in Curtis at one point, and you could tell like Chris Curtis, who's now Greg Hill's producer, like he's like, you guys had Chris from Wakefield on talking about Battle of the Brainless with Curtis and Mudd.
Oh yeah.
But he was a pit bull when it came to this kind of stuff at EEI. Like they really underutilized him with Greg Hill, I think. But you could they brought him at one point. He's just like, what do you make of it? And he's just like, you have to like, he went through everything. So like, he made this up. This was a lie. This was a lie. This was a lie. Just the efficiency in which they just destroyed this guy. Just a raging hard on is all I can really say.
And then one thing I saw that stood out was Kirk called him. Kirk told him he was going he
called them. Like there was no secondary sources. Kirk calls him and said, "Where were you on the day of the marathon?" He's like, I wasn't there." And and then
he pulled the my child is about to go to the hospital move.
Yeah.
Do you granted, I don't know if that's true, but is there like a more of a scummy move if that isn't true? Like that's the classic, like, get me out of this situation.
Yeah, you could say, it's the one thing you can say, and like no one wants to really question. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
you know, I guess no, but then, yeah.
But I mean, when you have a person like this, you kind of have to question something like that.
Yeah.
With scumbag like this.
It's like what RA was saying at the beginning, where he's like he has like a personal connection to the marathon, and probably a lot of people in Boston do. And for someone to like, it's kind of harmless to fluff up an article some of the times, but to do it to this extent, and like you got to feel personally like heated about it, because it's like, fuck this guy, he wasn't even there, he's saying all this stuff and he doesn't even know what people, like he's acting like he knows what people are going through during that time, like he has no idea. And it's just like kind of, oh sorry, go ahead.
No, like he, going off of that, like he went on Bob Ryan's, like a legendary sports journalist up here, who was with the Globe for, he covered like the Celtics, like the late around the horn. He filled in with PTI every now and then, but he was a figure at the Globe for sports journalism. But he was he had a podcast after he retired and had Cullen on talking about Patriots Day, the movie with Mark Wahlberg. Mm-hmm. And he was like, you know, are you going to go see it? And Cullen sits there and he's just like, you know, I don't want to see it. You know, I've been through so much with the marathon bombing already. You know, I feel like I've got, he said, quote, secondhand PTS. Yeah, from interviewing all these people.
Yeah, like that's,
and it's just like, you were such a piece of shit. Like, not only are you like putting yourself in, but now you're saying you have PTS from a thing you weren't at.
Yeah,
it's like you have no disregard for like other people's emotions.
And that's where like at a certain point, you know, it's just mental with him.
Yeah, no common sense,
and you like almost feel kind of bad, but
yeah. Because it's like any decent person would know, like you don't want to fucking lie about that kind of stuff, or you know, like it's like that's something that people remember.
It's like saying I fought in Iraq War. Like
that's
it's like saying
pretty much,
like
yeah.
That's like saying like
that's Ben Albright shit.
That's like saying like
exactly. Will it's like Ben Albright shit.
That's like saying like I quit my job for an unpaid internship. You know, people shouldn't lie.
I want everybody to know it's true. I would do that in a second.
Steve, his DMs are open, by the way. If you
DMs are wide open. No one DMs me.
Willing to take a pay cut.
Just say what's up. Anything. Anything. Not even a pay cut. I'll go to zero.
Right. Thanks for reminding me.
Do you have any more on cut?
I have one question. Like how, you know, the Cullen episode must have hit a lot harder for you. The parody episode that Kirk just did.
Oh, I think I take so much satisfaction from anything that's to do with Cullen at this point, but it's just interesting how he's become just kind of like a cartoon character at this point, just based off of like his dishonest journalism. But with this, like the point of this was, I just wanted to let you like show you guys that way back when it didn't start as him being a cartoon character, he was just kind of like a villain sort of deal.
Yeah.
But now that he's just kind of morphed in, Kirk loves the you write a little like excerpt for the synopsis of Cullen episodes and stuff like that, and it has become that. But that's just where he started, was just being a scumbag.
Yeah, and I guess you get that. It's like a sense of like you kind of won the war. I guess
exactly. He has that pelt.
Yeah, because it's like he like you're saying, he was a reputable like journalist in Boston, and like now he's like, you can't come back from that, you know. You can't.
Yeah, he knows that. Yeah, Kirk knows that he's just he like I said, he has that pelt, so now he can just dance on his grave, that's what he does.
He's up there in Vermont writing his fucking puff pieces,
getting haircuts, and then having a mayonnaise jar email his editors.
He's down to the ranks of people like Andy Mayo are now breaking stories.
Good for Mayo. That's good for the call him out on it.
That shit's awesome, dude.
No, Mayo did a really great
job. Mayonnaise just broke some.
I was joking. That wouldn't that would be funny if Kevin Cullen, the first piece of honest journalism he did was just a takedown piece on Mayo.
Oh, that's great.
like did like 6 months worth of research. Like the Globe's editorial staff took a year to do it, and just like a 15-page expose on a mayonnaise jar.
That's a way to get back in the game. I think Kirk would probably be on his side after that. You know, he would get a lot of the OG Minute fans.
The private thread would back it 100%.
Yeah, Cullen's fucking in his Vermont home right now, taking notes on his fucking
exactly
jar of mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. This fucking jar of mayonnaise. BTS. So let's do this. Let's wrap it up. Do you guys want to do Clout first, or do you want to do Mount Rushmore
first? Let's do Mount Rushmore. And honestly, in ode to
Big
Cat and the people.
Where we go?
That was me, like
Oh,
interruption.
sorry.
I like it.
Before we go on, do you guys have Harvest Crunch in the US?
Stop talking about
We spent 15 minutes before the episode started. Okay, so guys, our Mount Rushmore this week is it's cereal. This is actually, if not the first, one of the first Mount Rushmore's Big Cat and PFT ever did. I believe it was the first. We will definitely be fact checked on that. Don't worry. But we picked that because, you know, obviously Big Cat took a huge role in the 5K. He took his dog out for a shit and called in and then walked back home.
That was a glorious shit.
I took a screenshot of it and tweeted it out, just to say thanks to Stella, especially for taking that dump on the 5K. But no, I think
Stella,
you know, Big Cat.
Yeah,
That's
Big
his
Cat's
dog's name.
His dog's name is
Isn't that
Stella.
weird?
Yeah. So that's the good Stella. That's the Stella that lives in our hearts. So I think Big Cat has a good role in this in our world.
All right, so what's the order?
Wait, so I just want to say something. John, I kept this in my back pocket, but John was saying before, he goes, cereal's so big, like there's its own aisle for it at the supermarket.
Yeah.
Thanks,
You know,
It's
such a power industry. Yeah.
It's own aisle in the grocery store.
This is all-
completely designated.
I like this.
See, I'm glad I saved that one for when we were
I
recording.
like this since that fucking last comment. I will
Even
go
at Whole
first.
Foods.
RA will go second. Will go third, and BA will go last because he's a fuck. So
But it's Snake, so he gets two at the end. So
yeah, he gets
basically,
two.
like, he gets two
all
first,
right,
so.
my first one, French Toast Crunch. Boom.
French
It was
toast?
It was discontinued
he means cinnamon toast.
No,
No,
French
no, he's saying
toast.
French toast.
Oh, I think I had
Cinnamon
that.
Toast Crunch.
I think I had
so
that.
French Toast Crunch
Holy
is made
shit.
by Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but it's little pieces of bread and it's got
Yes.
like milk on it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've
bro.
had that. I've had
It was discontinued for like 15 years and then they brought it back, bro. I'm gonna take that. It's not my favorite cereal, but I thought it might have been taken, so I'm taking that first.
Wow,
That's a good one, man.
French
yeah.
toast
All right,
crunch,
who do we got?
number
That's a
one.
deep one.
I'm gonna take Cocoa Puffs.
Ooh, nice,
Cocoa.
nice.
Cocoa
That
Puffs,
was
chocolate
my
for
number
breakfast.
two.
You can't go wrong. And when you're done, you can drink the chocolate milk.
That's
Yeah,
Yes.
I'd argue
The
that
game
that's better.
changer.
I'd argue that that's
Here-
better than eating the actual cereal itself.
Here is my
I
problem.
lost.
Here's my
Sorry.
problem with Cocoa Puffs or Cocoa. Wait,
Chocolate
did you
milk,
say
bro.
Cocoa Puffs or Cocoa Crisps?
Cocoa
Puffs.
Cocoa
Okay,
Puffs,
never mind.
bro.
No problem with those. Okay, go ahead, BA. Or Will.
Well,
I'm gonna go with honeycombs. Number one,
Oh,
because
wow.
I think that one of you guys are gonna
Honeycombs?
That's what I
take them,
have.
'cause they're fucking
what
delicious.
cereal do you guys
dude.
eat?
You can eat them with milk, without milk. They're just really good. You can just buy a box and fucking dip your
I
whole.
always
thing.
said like honeycombs are great without like I like cereals that there's some cereals I like without milk, and
Yeah.
honeycombs is definitely
So
one.
I'm really
of them.
pumped.
And
I'm really
always
pumped. I'm
loved
really
their,
pumped to get honeycombs here on my.
I always loved their mascot back in the day. That like crazy.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that weird sort of furball
yeah.
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
On top 10 mascot and
Oh
in
yeah,
cereals.
definitely.
For
Mount,
sure,
maybe
top
we
10.
should do mascots next week. That'd be a
Of mascots. Well, okay, we could do that.
Any mascot.
I mean, that's pretty vague too. You could.
What a
do lot of-
tangent, eh? What a
you could do
tangent.
lot of different
Let's
things.
keep on
yeah,
track, boys. Let's keep on
that.
track. We're talking
No,
cereal.
No, I had another point, but him saying that made me forget about it.
Is it me?
Yeah, I think it's you. Fuck until I
Fuck,
two.
I don't.
until I remember what I say and interrupt you.
I don't know what to do. I
Well,
I
you
think
have
I've
two
listed
picks.
off the
You have-
50
you have two-
cereals.
You have two fucking picks.
No,
Yeah.
so my favorite cereal, Reese's Puffs. That
Ooh,
cereal.
okay.
yeah.
That's cereal, like John said. You can eat it with milk, without milk. It's good.
Also-
And then on RA, I would say I'm a more of a Nesquik cereal guy.
Oh,
Um,
fuck that.
Oh,
Don't have that in
is that
America.
the Canadian
Yeah.
one?
Yeah,
Boom,
that's
yes,
not
I
in
got
America.
it. So
be
that's
we were
that's
going to
similar.
have BA only
Yes.
make up fake Canadian cereals,
So the
Cheerios. Cheerios.
Maple
Nesquik
O's.
cereal is similar to the Cocoa Puffs, where the milk will turn into chocolate milk.
Okay.
So
Coffee milk, good.
Okay.
And
Chucky milk, good.
I remembered what I was going to interject with. Are we still going to send our Mount Rushmore to Phil afterwards?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
for
He's
sure.
got to
Phil,
make the graphic.
nice to
He's
meet
got to
you.
make the graphic. Maybe those
Look
two
at
can
the
do
guy.
that for the after date.
Okay, perfect. Number two, I'm gonna take
let Phil speak on the date. We should
I'm gonna
tell the
say-
girl.
I should. Yeah, we should.
Fuck you, bro. Let me
Will, you're up.
damn pick.
Is it your pick? Well,
Yeah, CT Crunch,
Go ahead,
cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay.
It's an easy number two. I
Yeah.
believe I'm final.
Oop, you froze.
Best producer.
I can't believe I'm finally winning a Mount Rushmore. A good thing I had technical difficulties there to put me back in my place.
What was your first pick? You're winning a Mount Rushmore. Your list has been trash so far.
Yeah.
Toast Crunch, honeycomb.
Oh, honeycomb is good. Yeah.
Honeycomb's. I'm not a honeycomb guy.
So as
I
I
love
said,
honeycomb.
so BA, piss yourself.
Okay. All right. Who do you got?
If RA says it, then it's facts because he's a
I
genius.
got it's got
That is
frosted
why we
mini
brought-
wheats.
Oh,
Frosted mini
Frosted
wheats.
mini wheats.
That's a power pick. That is
The only downside with frosted mini wheats gives me awful shits. Too
Oh,
much
yeah?
fiber.
I think that's across the board.
Oh, do you have fiber
I
one?
know it is a
Fiber
lot
one
of
in the
fiber.
US? Fiber
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
I think that should extend though. I think you should just take frosted cereals in general. I feel like you can do that, right? Like
Just
with
take
Cheerios-
frosted cereals.
I'm just taking all of them.
All of them.
Just take,
No.
I'll,
That doesn't
no.
make sense.
I disagree.
I would say there's a lot of frosted cereals.
Yeah. Like frosted Cheerios.
I mean,
Yeah,
that
they-
was my list. I was going to take it, but now I'm not going to take it because the
Oh, definitely take it. That's a completely
Yeah.
different cereal. Okay, I'm up for 2 picks. My first
Frosted
one is
flakes,
going to be,
you know, they
Yeah.
frosted everything.
Okay, so my next pick is O's. I don't know if anyone ever had O's. They're just called O's.
I
No
see
one?
it here on this. I have like a picture of one of the like an aisle of a supermarket up, and I'm just
Yeah.
looking at that. So that's the
Yeah,
first time
okay,
I've
so
seen it. Oh,
My second pick is O's. My third pick is going to be Fruit Loops.
fuck.
Love fucking Fruit Loops, man. They're my
Fuck.
easy number 2. They're my number 2 and most loved. Who do we got now? All right.
I got honey nut Cheerios.
Fuck.
Classic. A classic.
Take Cheerios, you make them sugary. It's perfect.
Yeah. Yep.
My third pick.
Fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay on the honey theme. Honey bunches of oats
Ooh, very good pick. I love Honey Bunches of Oats, and I love their commercials.
with almond preferably, but I'll just take honey bunches
Okay.
of, and we'll say that almonds included in that. So
Did we
there'll be
take?
almonds as well?
Did anyone take Frosted Flakes?
Not yet.
Oh,
No.
Frosted Flakes, Tony the Tiger. They're great. You
Tiger.
know,
Yeah.
we can put them on the mascot list too for next week.
Yeah, there
right?
you go. There you go.
You know, and fuck, you guys.
This is your last pick. Round it up.
This is tough, man. Cereal is actually pretty tough.
Super easy.
There's
an entire aisle for them.
A lot
people
of people
forget.
don't realize.
People forget there's a whole aisle for cereal.
People are
Fuck. This is tough. I'm gonna go with Lucky Charms.
Oh, garbage, absolute garbage.
But you know, it's like the nostalgia behind Lucky Charms. Like I loved when I was a kid, I loved it. There was one of the Lucky Charms that I remember being a picky kid, and I was like, oh, I don't like that one. I don't remember which one it is, but I thought it tasted different. But I think they all taste the same. But
There's nothing more disgusting than soggy Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
oh, you got to eat
Yeah,
it quick.
Yeah,
You gotta eat
if it was just the charms, I'd eat it. But
dude.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
eat it quick.
I think they came out with just the charms at one point.
Mhm.
so
Well,
it's just
basically
marshmallows.
like eating regular Cheerios, no Honey Nut Cheerios, mixed with styrofoam, small bits
Yeah.
of styrofoam.
Oh no way! It's fucking. It was
Sugary
nostalgia.
styrofoam.
That was good.
Sugary
Actually, I
styrofoam.
think the Canadian Lucky Charms is a little bit different. It was
Oh,
like
I-
really, really high
Yeah,
end.
probably a little more
quality.
healthy for you.
A little more healthy.
Yeah.
Yo, know what I'm gonna send you to put in after the episode. There's a whole bit on Canadian cereal. There's a comedic bit. It's really funny.
Is it for real? Is there really?
Yeah, it's about
There's
how
no
Captain
Canadian-
Crunch is different in Canada than it is in America.
Actually,
have
I
that.
think there is another one too that's
Your
different.
fourth pick?
Speaking of my fourth pick,
Fruit
I'm,
Loops, I think.
I'm gonna go with Captain Crunch.
Okay. The Captain's always good. I love the Captain.
Great, and
It's-
it goes well with. Obviously, it goes. I like a not a lot of milk, but like
Mhm.
a amount of milk. That
Okay.
makes Cocoa Puffs at least, and I let Cocoa Puffs sit because Cocoa Puffs taste good. That was a great pick by
You
Ari.
like so you are you like you most cereals? Do you let the milk? You want it to sit in for a while, or you eat it fast? I'm more of a fast eater with cereal.
Me too. But some
Yeah.
cereals I don't mind. My last pick is going to be my favorite cereal, but go ahead, Ari.
I think I can do this. I'm gonna do Captain Crunch. Oops, all berries.
Okay. So that's basically what that whole
Yeah, that's what I
comedy
fucking
is
thought, Will.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah, go fuck
yeah.
yourself.
It's chaos. It's wild. It's just all berries. See, the thing with Captain Crunch is the little orange pieces always get stuck in the back of my teeth.
Well,
all the time.
I believe it's made with carbon fiber. Like it crushes your mouth. It is dangerous. Yeah. It's good. It's good though. My last pick, and no one's gonna like this pick, but it's my favorite cereal. I eat it all the time. It's Raisin Bran. I fucking love Raisin Bran.
So
it's
for old people.
That's so fucked. That's fucked. Raisin Bran. Are you serious? That's a lie.
I swear I'll go to my cabinet right now and show you my Raisin Bran.
Okay, let's see it. Let's see it right now.
Really, you want me to?
No.
So I think that was a pretty good. Thanks to Phil for participating in the Mount Rushmore. I think that was a pretty good one. I love cereal though. I'm not. Do you guys eat cereal in the morning, or are you guys not?
I don't eat cereal too much anymore. I used to eat it a lot back in the day, but no.
Mm-hmm.
I eat too much of it.
I
go through like 2 gallons of milk just a week with just cereal.
I think I should get back into the cereal game.
That's what I usually eat cereal. Like I'm a nighttime cereal. I don't like breakfast really, so I'm a nighttime cereal guy. I love eating cereal at night. Boys, let's jump over to and finish up with Clout.
No honorable mentions on the cereal.
Yeah, you're right. What do we got for honorable mention?
Apple Jacks didn't get mentioned. I don't know if that's a big one in the U.S. I don't really like it.
They changed the formula a little bit in the U.S. I've noticed a difference lately. So
that's a good point. So for me, I should have said this. The old tricks.
My dog.
The old tricks, because they changed the formula. I remember when I was a kid. At one point, tricks changed.
Now they're circles.
No, but
they're
just
all
the
circles
taste.
now.
Oh, the taste is different.
It used to be amazing, and then it got a little less amazing. But
it
would tricks. I remember the formula changed or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I had Life. I love Life cereal.
Life is good because you can make like you can make like Muddy Buddies with Life and stuff like that.
Oh,
like
even corn pops. No one said corn pops.
That was going to be my honorable mention. Is corn pops.
Corn pops. I like corn pops too. I would take off Lucky Charms for corn puffs. Actually,
the old rice. Is that what you're saying, Will? Go ahead.
Rice Krispies, no?
Rice Krispies, yeah.
You can make
Snap, Crackle, Pop.
And then I was going to say Fruity Pebbles.
Boys.
And fucking Cookie Crisp, bro.
Cookie Crisp are great.
Cookie Crisp, yeah.
That's
so what I was for breakfast. Fruity Pebbles, because I thought RA said cookie or chocolate cookie or whatever the chocolate version of Fruity Pebbles are. Fruity Pebbles get soggy so fast and they're disgusting when they're.
Fruity Pebbles are dope. They're another one where the milk tastes really good. Afterwards, it's like it's
like a fruit milk.
No,
it tastes like that Carano milk.
It tastes like birthday.
That was a low blow.
I thought your relationship was growing, and there it goes.
We're good. We're good.
All right. That wraps up Mount Rushmore. Let's hit Clout quick, and then we'll close out. Who do you guys got for Clout? Will, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm gonna go -5 Clout to birthdays. I had mine yesterday.
Happy birthday, Will. Trying to get us to say happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, man.
All right, we get it. Do you want to give out to anybody? Because you usually self both.
What?
It was such a good one.
Birthdays because I just really didn't do anything except sit in my room and like get loaded.
Yeah.
Well,
that's all you sure that's all you did?
Broken foot, there's not really much you can do.
Yeah, that's true. All right, who do you have for Clout? You can give some and take some.
And
from anyone, or can I just
anyone at all?
Do pretty much whatever you want.
Do anything.
All right, so I'm gonna take Clout from John from Scranton.
Oh, nice.
Just because how many things do you have to be on? Just out of curiosity. I saw that you're the Bachelorette with a girlfriend. And now you're dripping wet trying to get an intern job for no money. You know, I'm just curious.
What's your financial picture, too?
Yeah, what's your financial plan?
I tweeted this. I'm on one show. One show.
No, you're on 2.
No, Muncie isn't really a show anymore. I don't think.
Oh, drama. There's a lot of YouTube drama. What's a drama? What's a drama, John? Let's hear it.
Red and Mike, I guess, are battling. So it's not my show. I was literally just asked to be on it.
That was kind of weird that you guys told like Mike not to be on the show at one point.
I think Mike kind of mistaken how Red told it. Like what me, Ned, and Red were going to do was just a Game of Thrones show, and we were just going to film it on my StreamYard, and just if Steve wanted to put it up, he could. If not, I was going to throw it on.
Why couldn't you just add Mike then? Say Mike.
I don't know anything about Game of Thrones.
But you don't know anything about half the shows that you go on talking about.
Yeah, that's actually really true.
So know what to do. Like, what's the?
Yeah, just let him try to figure it out.
Let him come on.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I was asked. Ned Stark really wanted to do this, and like we were like, "Fuck yeah, dude! Like, of course we'll do that for you, buddy."
I would just tell Mike, "Hey, we're gonna do it with Ned Stark. When are you good?" Boom, there you go.
Yeah, I guess I had no part in what happened with Mike and Red, though. Go ahead.
What are you saying? Fuck me, Will.
Oh, I'm saying fuck you to John because he turns his fucking gain up to 1,000 every single time. So
yeah, you're Mike always. I like when you're talking, but you can't hear what you're saying. Yeah. You're just like, that's
fucking annoying, bro. I just got to talk up a little bit. And I forgot what I was saying because I was going fucking animal on me.
I have another thing, John. I think last week, I was on a YouTube show every day. And I'll just say this. I don't ask for it. Menders called me a slut. He called me a YouTube slut. Hey, what are you gonna do? So I would say I'm not a slut because slut is trying to get fucked. I'm a YouTube gentleman. I'm a YouTube gentleman. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
A handsome escort, a handsome companion.
Handsome. There you go. A gigolo.
Yeah.
Do you have anything? Sorry.
I said you were talking about this past weekend before. You had a good time, right? This past weekend, what did you do?
Yeah, what did you do?
What did I do?
Yeah. What time did you get home today?
I had a quiet, relaxing day. I did the 5K, came back, cooked some dinner, or cooked some lunch, then took a nap, went to bed. Actually, my mom cut my hair.
Escort service.
Nice.
Yeah, I went to the park. There's like 3,000 people there.
Yeah.
The premier of Ontario. The premier. Hey, the mayor was there, and like he wasn't wearing a mask, and people are freaking out about him. But the premier, like the governor, I guess, of Ontario, is like going off on us.
Going.
Then maybe strippers came over.
I was on the news the other day, and I was like, "You were on the news?" He goes, "Well, no, I was at a park, and the park was on the news." I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I was in New York City once, and that's always on the news, but I don't go see it.
I was celebrating my 5K time. Like champions do, like Terry Fox. Terry Fox celebrated with a few strippers during his marriage.
With one leg, and cancer. So
yeah, so if Terry can do it, I could do it too. So
RA, are you giving clout to anybody?
Ted Sellers.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
I was crying listening when he had his video of him in the car going to Castle Island, and the Chariots of Fire was playing in the background. I was crying.
That was funny.
How he signed off. He's like, I can't wait to run, even though I can't. Or something. Yeah, that was great. It was fucking great. Tim and Canton following that whole saga. I like that pick.
Some of those photos of Mike were not very flattering, and they have not been photoshopped yet or at that point.
Them hips
yeah.
Good thing he's blind.
Yeah. Yeah. Who do you have?
So I'm putting on the Clout Watch.
No way. Get out of town.
We got to watch the 617 report. People are saying that he rode his bike during the 5K. That's how he came in first place. No, I'm just joking. I sent that to him, and I think he thought I was being serious, and then he sent me his steps, and then I was just like, "Oh, I'm just joking." And that was really impressive. But then I got the follow. But to be honest, he killed people by a minute or whatever, right? I think that's really impressive. I have to say. So you know what? I'll give him +1 clout.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I want to go back to my cloud just for a second because intern Nick actually sent me his real time.
Yeah, Nick actually won.
Yeah, Nick won the whole thing.
Nick got under 15 minutes.
No, he won.
He finished.
I thought he said he got in 16 something. What was his time?
He sent his actual. Well, actually, no. The guy who runs marathons actually won.
Someone ran 14 something.
Yeah, that was that guy.
Really?
Who runs marathons. That was on the end of the broadcast.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, that's insane. This guy did 7 marathons in 7 days.
Doesn't matter. Whatever the app says counts. 617 report +1 cloud. He won. He rode a bike.
My girlfriend turned me. That's impossible.
Okay.
That's fast. That's
RA, did you run the whole time actually?
Yeah, I finished in a very speedy 28 minutes.
That's not bad actually.
That's bad at all.
good.
I'm gonna, you know what? It made me get motivated that I think I'm gonna start going out for try to get the running. I am. I bet my dad. My dad runs like 5K like 4 or 5 days a week. So I used to run back in the day in my prime.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a plus and a minus. I'm giving plus to our guy who made the intro for us, which bad timing because we didn't use him on this intro, but the guy who made the intro for us just started a new account. It's Kirk's Battle Rapper. And he's the man, dude. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's getting +5 clout and then -5 clout to whoever decided it would be a good idea to report 5 people in the Discord, getting them banned. Discord. All 5 of them who are.
I think it was Gooch. I think we've been talking about this for weeks, but I think the Gooch is the only thing that brings them together. Our RA is probably so confused right now.
I know what's going on. It's just I'm not really in the Discord.
Pretty much, all 3 of these guys are big. I don't want to not. They post a Gooch. They post a Gooch shot, a guy's Gooch, and they post it, and that's what brings them together. Because nothing else makes sense. Like I don't think it's someone like Blobe. I don't think it's someone like DAC. I don't think it's like. I think it's the Gooch. But.
Maybe it was Erica, since I think one of them sent it to Erica.
I keep saying I'm gonna keep saying it. Somebody saw the Gooch.
I think
the Gooch.
She's part of the exclusive Gooch gang.
Because who's gonna actually do that? Like in all honesty,
it's so whoever did it, I'm really upset about it.
But I still I'm saying I don't think it was anyone specific. I guess it had to be. Fuck, I got fucked there. But I don't think. I think it's like it was Gooch.
Yeah. Gooch brought us down. All right, let's finish off here. Will, you have anything to close?
Finishing ourselves.
Yeah, man. Thanks, RA, for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, RA, are you doing your YouTube tour this week? You know, you're gone.
Yeah. Well, after last week when you characterized BA and his idiot.
Actually, that's a good point. Are you nervous? What do you think? Are you nervous about having to go toe to toe with Kirk?
I heard.
So Steve brought us in a no-win situation.
Yeah,
Kirk said he's gonna quit the show if I win. So it's not not gonna end well for me.
That's the position I'm in right now because I'm going on with them at 8:30, and I'm wondering.
Oh yeah, you're really in that position.
Whether
you're absolutely right, Will. Thanks. I'm glad we can relate.
It's a completely perpendicular scenario. I'm deciding how drunk I want to be Justin tonight. Champagne.
So that's the thing. Blind Mike's supposed to be drinking for Kirk. So you got to think he's gonna throw maybe 5 in a row.
He's gonna he's gonna let him get a little bit roasted at least. Competitive guy. Like he's gonna know that you've won a couple.
He's smart too, man. He's smart.
You know what?
Well, I think it'll be a good battle.
I think.
Yeah.
I think I'll be okay.
Are you gonna if you're tied at the end, like it's 9-9, are you just gonna take the knee for the show? Like you're gonna take the kney to save the show?
That's the scenario that could go in my head 100 times.
You go to bed every night thinking.
Am I gonna be the person who ends this? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yo, fuck. How
you guys go to the park again?
I'm almost took down Barstool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, hot roommate.
Oh, what's going on, guys?
All right, it's a great way to end the show, guys.
All right, that's a good way to finish out. RA, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Enjoyed my time here.
Guys, we'll see you later. Peace. Oh, another hot guy.
Yeah, see ya. See ya, boys.